Hello and welcome. My name is Tom.
And I'm Heather.
And you're sitting at the Couples Table.
The Couples Table is a live stream podcast here on this channel. Join us for better or worse.
For richer or poorer.
In sickness and in health.
Most Thursdays.
He laughed and looked at me. You're funny.
I know.
Well, today is episode 110. And today we're talking about YouTube personalities. No.
Yeah.
What is
not like YouTube personalities like PewDiePie has a YouTube personality, but it's also, I should
Tom
say,
Buck is a YouTube personality.
It's also not like the Harry Potter test, because like, what is your YouTube personality? It's not like, here's some questions.
What house are you in?
Yeah. Oh, you're a try guy. Like it's more. It's based on what we were talking about last week, because it got brought up in the chat of finding your YouTube personality, because we were talking about we've both been given instructions by bigger creators to go overboard and be super extreme, but that's not really how we are. And then there were a few people in the chat who were saying that they feel that they're not exciting enough and they're coming off as boring, and we were trying to go through the idea that like being interesting on camera doesn't mean you have to be like loud and crazy and everything. And so there's all kinds of different personalities on YouTube. Getting in front of a camera is very uncomfortable. Figuring out how to translate your actual personality to a YouTube situation is difficult and takes some time. So that's what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
Along with whatever else you want to say.
Yes. So saying hi to Parker Jennings, Homesick Mac in the house, Obscure Tech, whooping it up. Spiral Lab, great stream today. Jules, hello. Hey, Jay, Mr. Camera Junkie, Rob, sup. Michael is here. Jared, hello. Repel Room, hello.
I was like, when did Rob send his pancakes? So pancake.
Oh, hey, Pete. Oh, no coffee. I'm trying to determine my personalities in the real world. Conquest Racing Club is here. Indie Creator Hub, hello, hello. Is this a bling windscreen? Well, you have one too.
Yeah, I had the gold one last week. Maybe like a year ago or more. Matt, I don't know if he's here today, but one of the Couples Table people who's like in both of our channels, he like did a super chat and then to buy the glitter glam windscreen.
Yeah, the glitter glam. I forgot how. I think it's because you had a gold.
Reporter Store sent me a gold one just randomly with an order once, and I was like, "This is cool," but like you were like, "Gold's not my color."
Yeah, silver.
And so we went with silver.
Yeah. Tech Troublemaker, hello, hello. Michael, hello from Germany. Hello. Afsar, hey Amir. Hello, chat peeps. We're gonna see you at the playoffs, yeah?
Yeah, I hope so. We didn't say goodbye at the game last night, but we figured you'd be at all the playoffs.
It felt so like...
It was like the last day of
graduation.
School.
I know. It's so sad. Hey, Ben.
Ben.
Good to see you. So... take me there, Tom. How are we doing this?
Okay, well, let's go about this. Last week we went back and we looked at, was that last week? We looked at your old video that you said was cringy, or was that 2 weeks ago?
No, I think that was last week.
It doesn't matter, but how did you feel making your first YouTube videos, like about being on camera? How did that feel?
Oh man. I mean, okay, so the video that I uploaded was not my first try at a YouTube video, because that one didn't make the cut. I recorded it 3 times. I couldn't get it under an hour, so this is 3 hours. I remember sweating just in my chair, like, how come I had a script, I was memorizing and I was just like, you know what, forget this. And so I just, I ended up tossing that. And then I think the next time I was like, I am not going to have this day end until I finish something. And so I tried to so basically, like, the first time I recorded, it's just such an awkward, uncomfortable thing. It's so, none of it is natural, at least to me.
No,
it wasn't. But when I did my second try, which ended up becoming my first vlog on this channel, I just had to tell myself, like, it like, don't worry so much, just focus on what is the point of this, like, what am I trying to convey, and like just put it out there. Otherwise we will be stuck here at step 1 forever.
Right. Exactly.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
That's basically how I felt. But there was no like, I didn't think anything about, what my personality is or how am I coming off or, who am I trying to be. It was, I think also why it's cringy looking back is because I know I said those lines multiple times and it's not the genuine,
no one else would know that, but
yeah, it's not the genuine,
yeah, there's a video, you just reminded me, I forgot about this. Prior to being on YouTube, I loved making videos and doing projects and all kinds of stuff, but I was never on camera.
Yeah.
But there were two things that happened. One, at my old school, years ago, they wanted to do a thing in local movie theaters how you can play ads before movies start. They wanted to advertise like the career technical programs throughout the school district. And so they had my students put together almost like a Ken Burns slideshow of like different programs or whatever. And there was a script and they had like this voiceover person do it. And it was literally like the school year ended. It was the first day of summer vacation. And I got a call from a person at the district that was like, we don't have a voiceover for this thing. Like the person that we found isn't going to do it. Can you like contact any of the kids and have them do a voiceover? And I was like, it is summer. I can't meet with a kid. No, I really can't. I don't even have my keys to like a classroom or anything. And they're like, well, is there any way you could do it? And it's way pre-YouTube. And this is just voice only. And I was like, well, I guess. So I grabbed my little audio recorder and I went in the guest bedroom over there and I read the things, which was like, the school district offers arts, media, entertainment, health, and fitness, like whatever the different programs were. And I was like, yeah, here's the thing. It ended up playing in the movie theaters for like 2 years. Like they never stopped playing it, to the point where after I hadn't even worked there anymore, one time I was walking into a movie theater before and I walked in and I heard my voice going like, the school district offers, and I just immediately turned red and left, as if anybody would know.
Yeah.
How would anybody know that like no one's paying attention to this also because it's not very interesting, but
you're not going to talk
in the next 2 hours. Who is going to sit there and go, oh, this thing about a school district? That's the guy for sure. Like, no, but it was so like, I don't know. It was very corporate interview thing or whatever.
Sure, yeah.
After that, one thing that I was trying to do, when I started the media program at my last school, I wanted to give it a bit of legitimacy, and there's sort of some certifications you can get. One of them I wanted was to be an Apple Distinguished program, which my previous program had gotten. And every couple of years, Apple will take applications to be like a distinguished educator, which they never selected me. It's fine. But I had to apply, and you have to make a video about your program and like, of course, how Apple technology is the core of what you do. And
wow.
And all I remember, it's on our server somewhere, but I just remember it's a lot of me in a tucked in polo shirt. Like,
oh my God,
this is the campus where like I had like never been a human on camera before. And it was just, I can't even imagine watching it now, but those were very uncomfortable. And then I can remember recently, I guess a couple months ago, last fall now, I was making a video about a GoPro, like when the new GoPro came out, and I needed footage from an old GoPro video I had made like 5 years ago or something, 4 years ago. And so I went back and grabbed that video to take some footage out of it. And I love that video. I have very good memories of that video, but I was watching it and it's crazy because it's literally like, this is the GoPro 5 and it has the HDMI here, and then the GoPro 7 has hyper smooth stabilization, which is really cool. Like hyper smooth. You
need to do like a Tom reacts to his like first video.
I remember
what video are you on right now?
356, something like that.
Oh, it's like video 350. You should have like reacted.
That's okay.
Video 400.
But it's funny because I remember like I love that video. I remember being like all in on it,
super amped.
But watching it, and again, personality doesn't mean high energy, but it definitely was like, this is not even how I would be as a teacher in the classroom. Like this is not. This doesn't feel like me. But if Marta, if you're still here, you had Nick on your stream earlier today, and Nick was talking about early in his YouTube, he felt like he wanted to provide value as much as possible, and so his early videos are like info packed.
Right, straight to the point.
Yeah, there's not a lot of, almost anybody could be reading them because it's just conveying information, and it took a while to start letting the personality shine. And I think I definitely had that same thing of like,
yeah,
I'm just a instruction manual until maybe it doesn't have to be
Chad
that way.
says it feels strange at first, then it gets to a point where it's like epic. Getting over the fear about what other people think is the major obstacle.
Yeah.
See, like, I don't even know. I mean, I think a huge part of it is the fear of what other people will think. But also, I don't even think I knew, like, how to be me on camera.
Yeah,
like, it actually, you have to be intentional about it. You know what I mean?
It's that, and I got really hung up on, I'm filming myself.
This is such a Tom thing. This is so you.
Yeah, I'm now putting that footage of myself on my computer. Now I'm editing myself so I can post this video of myself
on a channel named Tom Buck.
Well, it wasn't named me at the time, but it just felt like it was hard not to feel that that's like a wildly narcissistic thing to do. But it's just the means to an end. That's how you have to make the videos, and that was a really hard thing to get over. Is just like, I'm not a raging narcissist. I'm just trying to make a video, and like I have, yeah.
Let's see. Drew's here. What it do? Pikachu Rogers here.
Ben said they knew.
They knew. I did a voiceover a little while ago for a local business commercial, and after giving the video to the owner, they asked if I could redo the voiceover myself because this guy doesn't sound the best.
Wait, did you have to redo?
But it was you. For
You're
me,
like, yeah.
Live streaming actually made being on camera easier. It felt real and just like a conversation. I agree. Live streaming really helped because it was like,
you can't really get up in your head as much.
Well,
you definitely can. You definitely can. But
I distinctly remember when YouTube live streaming was like Wirecast or something. Like it didn't even have a built-in live streaming platform, and I had to install all these things to go live. And then I remember, because this is when live streaming was super new, I had, I don't know, 1 or 2 people watching, and it felt like the world. And then it was like, oh, I have all these points, and then you realize that there is a conversation happening that could evolve, so I could stick to these points, or I could just talk like a normal human. And so, like, you know, super button up by the outline for the first 5 to 10 minutes, but then as soon as like the conversation goes, that's when it's like, okay, we're just sitting here talking.
I honestly still think that's a good strategy.
Yeah, but it's the YouTube personality thing is interesting because I feel like, I think for me, right, it's a weird thing to get on camera, to record yourself, to like convey a point. But then I think that with the YouTube personality, even though, like, you know, you might have a vision of how you want to come off, I feel like so much of YouTube personality is like a real personality where it's like formed by the feedback that you get.
Right.
So like, you know, that's where I feel like for me it was tricky because it's like in my, you know, let's call it like first 6 months, a lot of people were asking me like, oh my gosh, I'm going through something similar. And it was really nice to feel like I'm helping, by sharing my story, I'm helping people feel like they're not alone somehow. Right. And that helped me to be more real. But then, you know, as your channel gets bigger, it's, you know, other people start to come, and then it's like gets in your head, and you know.
Yeah, and then there's stories of that going in the bad direction,
the other direction,
because somebody, you know,
an audience, we get Nikocado or whatever his name is.
An audience jumps in on something negative about someone, but they like it, and then the person just
and then you like feed
plays
it
into that.
Yeah, you play into it, so it's tricky.
Yeah, I mean, I think we talked about this last week, but the best thing is when you meet someone from the world of YouTube and they're basically exactly the same on camera and not. And, you know, I think some people, I think everybody probably does turn it up a little bit when the camera's on, not necessarily going extreme, but you're, you know, even just trying to talk with fewer filler words or something, like speak more clearly. I think most people, you could probably tell when a camera's rolling and when a camera's not, but they're still very much the same person. And then I guess sometimes there's the outer edge where it's like they're almost an entirely different person.
Right. Spiral Lab says, it feels like I'm actually talking to someone when you're live streaming. Just recording myself feels so fake. Is that how it felt for you?
No, I didn't. Live streaming makes me way more nervous than recording a video.
Oh yeah, like
yeah, he said on a live stream.
Well, I don't know. The couples table's different. I feel
it is different. Yeah.
Well, how is it different from your live streams on the Tom Buck channel?
I mean, I feel like there's a norm and a standard and like a culture here that is accepting of roughness around the edges. Not that there isn't on my channel.
I was like, you're the one in charge, bro. It's your channel.
You're in charge, but there's a lot more people who will come in. It's their first thing they've ever seen on the channel, and then, you know, if there's anything technical, really, it's a lot more to keep track of all at once. And I just feel like I do a better job when it's not live most of the time. So that's why I don't go live very much on there.
Yeah. People love it though.
It is. I always love it, but it always like drains me.
Yeah, you are totally.
That whole day. If I go live on the channel, the whole day is going live, setting up, doing it, recovering from it. Like that is the day. So
it's not just editing the information; it's seeing yourself over and over as you edit, where you notice every little thing wrong. That was me this morning. I was editing a video for my gaming channel, and see, this is so funny. This is what I wrote down before we went live.
You should have the name of a game.
So I recorded a video, I think it was last week, and I finally got around to editing it, where I talk about this game I played recently. And I don't know if I had too much coffee or what, but I feel like I didn't breathe for 50 minutes, and I was just completely lost talking about how much I love this game. To the point where I was doing the opposite of cutting out the filler words. Like I wasn't conscious. I started looking like I'm looking here. It's weird. I'm not looking at the camera.
This is how it is when you talk about video games. I've been on the receiving end of this.
I was like, what am I doing? I'm not looking at the camera. I'm just looking at the sky, and it feels like all my experience went out the window. But I like how happy I am.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I love it.
I like this side of me, so whatever. I'm gonna put the video on.
That's why whenever you talk to me like that, I was like, this should be what the video. So I'm glad that's gonna be a video then.
But see, like it's that, like, I don't know. I don't. It's not like an intentional thing. Like there's no. I'm telling you, I think I had an extra cup of coffee that morning, and I just, I love this game for 15 minutes, and then. Then I like lifted my head up, like, what just happened? Anyway, I don't know if that's
I love that.
helpful, but like, anyway, back to your comment, Michael. When I was editing this, I said like so many times, to the point. I usually leave them in because I feel like it's natural, but this time it was just, I think I got so giddy that every other word was like, I was like, dude.
And sometimes your brain. This is with like any public speaking. Every once in a while your brain just latches on a word and you just keep repeating it. I know like is a little bit different, but sometimes it'll be a random word like impervious. And then you're just like, why am I saying impervious 50 times in this podcast? Like I never use that word. And it just happens.
Tech Troublemaker, I've only been going live the last 2 months and not doing any VOD or shorts like I should be.
There's no should.
Yeah, it's whatever you want. I think it's whatever you want.
You should be doing what you want to do.
Yeah. I want a coffee. I still have self-consciousness when shooting. Had it today while shooting at the barbecue restaurant.
Oh, in public? Oh my gosh.
Okay, so my last vlog, I recorded 20 seconds at the gas station, and I feel like you completely just not saying anything.
The gas station is a scary place anyway. Like... I'm like literally just like, trying to keep an eye out for everybody. Today?
And you're like,
yeah, I was like, I don't want people to even think that there's like equipment around here. I don't want anyone to follow me. I don't know.
Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. I also found it easier to talk into the camera lens because I knew you were on the other end. And later on, some people showed whom I knew personally. So inspiring. It's
really nice when you know there's a couple specific people who you're comfortable with watching, because then it is like, okay.
Well, so I erased it before the stream because I have it in another notebook, but this is the page that I had last week on the couples table, and I wrote down the idea right here, a video idea about how to, like, a beginner's guide to jump rope, and I wrote in parentheses Marta.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I'm going to approach this video as if I'm making it for you. And then like it's just so much easier. Like it's as if, hey, if you're here with me, like this is what I would tell you in person.
And it's best. That's a great way to do it.
That actually, how many videos have I made? But that actually like simplified the entire process, because I was gonna go into this whole other direction, which would have been hard.
Yeah,
I think it would have been hard for me. Anyway, Drew said, I'm also not sure, but I've had a disconnect between my brain and my mouth. I had a feeling it's my ADD flaring up. I found that I talk way slower than I realized. Oh,
interesting.
Yeah, I feel like people usually have the opposite problem.
Yeah, usually people talk too fast.
Yeah.
Slow is interesting.
Peter, I feel the continuity. Tom had the same shirt on his newest video today.
It's true, I did.
This one.
The pink. Yeah.
The pink.
I like the way the blue background, it really pops.
It takes someone who's very comfortable with themselves to be the same person on camera as off. I agree. I think it's someone who's comfortable and I feel like has a lot of experience.
Yeah, well, it's hard to keep up. Like, I think we mentioned this last week. You can put on a persona for a couple of videos. It's hard to do it for like 6 years.
Well, because even, we listen to podcasts and like we were listening to the newest like Serial Productions podcast, and they interviewed a police, I don't know, a detective, chief detective, whatever, who's 39. And I could tell like when the recorder goes on, there's the cotton mouth, like I could hear it, but it's like also you have almost 20 years of experience in this field. Like you're a pro at what you do, but I feel like, recording yourself, whether it be video or audio, is strange. I feel like it's just strange. It's a new thing. I feel like everyone has to kind of get used to it. I don't know.
It's true.
Conquest Racing Club says, I've got to a point where the camera has become a person I am talking to.
Yeah. That's a good one.
That really helped.
You really can develop a muscle memory where like you just focus on the camera lens. No matter what's happening, you just kind of like go back to it. Sometimes even if the camera's not on.
Hal 9000. And after you publish a video, you find 5 more things you should have fixed. Then the debate begins. Take down the video, fix it, or just let it go. Yeah. I've definitely, to this day, I still have it. Should I re-record that?
Yeah.
I think
every video has something that.
Yeah. Hey, Raphael. Good to see you. Let's see. Where are you getting gas? Like, bro. I am not that far from us.
It's not, but I'm not. Yeah, that's just not my favorite gas station.
Rob, when I started speaking public, I noticed my nerves got in the way. My doctor prescribed a beta blocker, and things got much better. I use them as needed for big talks and podcasts. Wow.
That's why he's such an alpha male, because he blocked out the betas. Sorry, that's so stupid. I'm sorry.
Wow. But, see? Maybe that's you in live streaming.
I don't know what a beta blocker is.
Well, because one thing that Tom has really like discovered about himself, we don't have to get into it.
Oh, no, we can totally get into it. Yeah, if we need to, but.
Yeah, but is that you have performance anxiety. Which is so weird because I have the opposite, where like I feel like I perform better when people are watching.
If
live, like in person.
People are watching Heather do something, and she's like, "All right, like now it's a
Let's
show."
Go.
I mean, that's what happened.
It's not that I'm trying to show off. It's just like,
I don't know. It gives you a context or something to do things in.
I think it's because especially if it's something where I'm having fun, then I feel like that comes off.
Well, didn't you tell me the other day, I think you said that part of you felt like it was almost wasted energy, like nobody's watching, so I'm just going to do this. But if someone's watching, then it makes sense that I'm going to go to the max. I automatically did jump roping because that was what I was thinking of. But yeah, no, the thing, yesterday was the last day of my like intro to Tuesday was the last day of my intro to ice skating class. And so of course, every class you're trying new things out and stuff, but this one was like, we're running through everything and kind of being looked at. And it's like, I've been going ice skating many days every week, trying out everything. I'm proficient enough in all of the stuff we're supposed to do in this beginner class. And I was even doing it that morning.
I honestly think you're at the point where you might be better than me.
Forwards, I'm good. Backwards, I can do nothing.
I know, but same here. Like, I can go backwards, but I can't, like, maneuver or do anything.
But yeah, I mean, it was like a big thing that popped into my mind. Like, the biggest struggle was 1 foot glides. So it's like, I can go on 1 foot, not even really thinking about it at this point. But then when it's like, okay, go across this line from one end of the ring to the other, and we're all going to stand here and watch, I just can't. I made it like,
which is
a
so
couple
weird.
of feet before, like, and then I'm drifting off the line and then falling down, and like, it's a whole.
I find this fascinating because this is coming from the guy who has 120,000 subscribers
It's
on
the same
YouTube.
thing with flight training, where it's like, you know, you're going through and you're supposed to be running through a checklist or something, and part of it for me is like, I get so up in my head about what I'm trying to do, and then I'm also so focused on the fact that someone is observing that I then want to show them that I'm doing the things that they're looking for. So it's not even just like flight training is a good example.
This is like so much mental work.
This is the hell that is my brain.
This is so much mental work, bro. Let it go. Let it go and just vibe.
That's what I need to do, which is why when I ice skate by myself, I just put in an AirPod and things are fine because I'm listening to music.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm just doing my thing, and it's fine. I fall down sometimes, but it's okay.
Well, before you cracked your knee this morning, you were telling me about a thing that you were reading on like hockey forums or something, and it was someone saying like, I'm not afraid of being seen trying.
Yeah.
And I mean, does that outlook?
I mean, I read that so that is a big one, and it like really, really helped, because that was the discussion was, in a big crowded public skate, what can you practice? So if you want to practice skating, but so a bunch of people that's going in a circle, there's only so much you can actually do. And somebody was saying, I feel silly, like, you know, if I'm wearing a bunch of hockey gear going in a circle, or if I'm trying to do this thing and falling down and people are laughing. And somebody said like that they adopted the mantra of, I'm not afraid to be seen trying. And I was like, wow. If
there's like one thing I could go back and tell myself before, you know, at the beginning of this YouTube journey, it would be that. Like, that's wonderful. Yeah. Like, I think that's such a good, because it's like,
it's so simple.
It takes away, it takes away all the embarrassment and shame and like, what the heck am I doing? I'm recording this and I don't want to tell anybody about it. But it's like, I'm excited about this thing that I'm doing.
Like,
Why do I have to? Yeah.
I'm trying to get better at something.
Right.
I'm trying to do something.
Yeah. Like, trying is admirable, you know? Yeah. Like, that effort is admirable.
Well, it's also like, I mean, for anything, you know, obviously like the flight training and the ice skating are at the top of my mind right now. But, you know, I still you just feel all the areas that you're not proficient. And it's just like, oh, like, I'm not good at this. I'm not good at this. I'm not good at this. But even yesterday I was like, okay, 7 weeks ago when this class started, nobody in this class could stop. Like, one of the first things we did was go from one end of the rink to the other.
You just
try to stop without hitting the wall. Everybody hit the boards.
Yeah.
And after 3 weeks, that was never an issue again. And it's like, okay, like, yeah, there's a long way to go, but dang, we actually have come a long way. And that goes with anything, not just this one class. But it's like, yeah, there's always more to learn. There's always ways to improve, but you sometimes don't realize how far you've gotten and how far you've come and the progress that you've made. And it's sometimes hard to notice that progress.
We're both listening to Laziness. Well, no, he's reading. I'm listening to Laziness Does Not Exist. It's a book.
Are you listening because you're lazy to read it?
I have it on 2x.
She talks slow.
She talks slow. And I feel like I can listen faster than I read. Anyway, there's a point in there where the author talks about how self-improvement shouldn't be a goal. It should just be like a routine. It's just like something that you do. And I really like that, because it's like some milestone doesn't have to validate what you're doing.
Right.
Like, you could just do it. It doesn't, you know, like, because I've been feeling that a lot with jump roping. It's like, I'm not at this level, but it's like, I'm still having fun. It's still, even if it's 10 minutes a day, like, who cares about skill or capability or tricks or anything? It's still like a thing that I want to do. And I feel like that's the same with YouTube. Like, every step of the way, it's like, I don't care how many subscribers, views, videos, blah, 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 blah. It's something that I want to do, and it's a thing that I just want to prioritize, regardless of what thresholds I may or may not have crossed. You know, like I wish I could go back and tell myself that. Just have fun. Just go. Just create more.
There's the science back there.
Anyway, living in Los Angeles says, what's the hardest thing about being a full-time YouTuber? And I'm actually going to just write this down because I feel like this is a whole... I feel like this could be a whole topic, yeah.
Yeah, the hardest... If you see an episode title, the hardest thing about being a full-time YouTuber.
It's because of you. Hardest thing about being FTYT. Kathy, my brother and I are going live for 6 minutes.
We're just gonna...
Oh, I don't know. Do you want to...
I
feel like we should catch up.
Yeah, okay. Well, I was going to say uncertainty. That was my answer.
Oh, dang. You know off the top of your head?
That's the thing that I feel most anxious about, yeah.
There you go. My brother and I are going live for 6 minutes daily as a way to work on our ums and further hone our podcast. I love that.
Yep. That was an exercise that I did with my students. We talked about before. 60 minutes of ad-libbed public speaking. You stand up, you talk for 60 seconds without using any filler words. You talk about whatever you want. It's much harder to do than you think.
I like that.
It's a good exercise.
Raphael, every video I make, I picture talking to a friend that doesn't really know what I'm talking about, but is interested. I love that. Hey, Prasant, I'm a little behind, but you can always use me as your talking focus for your gaming channel. I'm going to try to get this video out today.
It's taking like 8 years to upload, though.
If not tomorrow, but let's see. I use a teleprompter for my longer video, but my friend is making me do shorts cold without it.
It's probably good to have practice doing both, though, honestly.
I think a fix for my slow speech might be a prompter because my mind is running much faster than my mouth can go. So reading instead of thinking might be a better solution. I think it's worth a try. I tried a teleprompter and I could talk about YouTube personality. Completely went out the window. Completely, because it's just I'm so focused on reading the thing that.
That's it. That's what I was thinking though. Brain moving faster than mouth can go.
Yeah.
It's almost like little kids have that where they talk a lot and they're like, but did you see? But did you see? And you're like, come on, man. What is it, Lassie?
Too much energy can be wasted trying to be someone you are not. I think viewers identify with authenticity. I know I do as an audience member.
Hopefully.
Heather and Tom getting gas in the hood of Coachella, which is funny because Coachella,
the festival,
starts tomorrow.
Not the valley or the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Blink-182 just announced they're playing
5 minutes away from where we live. So we're getting our groceries today, and then we're just gonna shut in
until go out.
Yeah.
There's also just dust storms everywhere. So
beta blocker lowers blood pressure. I take it for my heart disease. Wow.
I thought it was a heart. Yeah, I thought it was a heart thing. I was like, how is that helping with my?
The only thing scary about getting gas in California are the prices. That's funny. Just like when performing with music, I'm terrified up until 2 minutes before I'd go on. Then it's just going.
I wonder, Mac, how your music experience helped with your YouTube.
I feel like it's like you're teaching. Yeah, like your teaching helps. Performing. Working on music, I feel like that has to help. Mm-hmm.
Kathy's talking about full service gas pumping where they like pump it for you. I've never in my life experienced that.
Is that still a thing?
She said, what is it? Jersey and New Jersey of all places.
That's still a thing.
I think there's a law. It's a law over there for some reason.
I just want it for the novelty of it. I would totally pay just to try that.
I don't think it's quite the same as like you go over a thing, it's like ding ding, and then like a guy in a white suit and like a little hat comes out and is like, good day, like
hi,
do this and watch this. It's probably not the person who comes out to pump your gas. But
there's a YouTube snowboarding family I love, and their motto is "Do it scared." I love that. Don't feel like you have to resolve all the fear and anxiety first. It's do it scared. I like that.
I just remembered
what
when I was a kid in like the 4th grade is really when I started. Knowing something was up with anxiety. And
wait, what?
Like I've always been an anxious person, but it was around the time of 4th grade is when like it was getting bad to the point where other people like my parents were noticing. And my dad gave me a book and he was like, you need to read this book, and it was called No Fear. But I'm just realizing this now. You remember the clothing company No Fear? It was like a Quicksilver.
Yeah, that's what I thought of.
Yeah. I think this was just like
their marketing.
I think it was just kind of like a
higher
end catalog for No Fear. I don't think it was an actual book. And I'm just now 30 years later or so wondering if he knows if he knew that or if he just grabbed something and
No
was like, "This is
Fear
probably
book.
good." This is. I mean, it was from 1995. It's not going to be in. The cover was the logo of the company, so which I was like, okay, this is like that backpack that kids have.
Wow.
It is none of these very nice. Oh,
This is it.
it's that one.
You're
no, that's
kidding.
a pinball, but it was that logo on the cover, and it was red too. You guys
Wait.
can't see this, but
Well, I mean, we could change that with a.
it's not. It's
Flip of
it's
a
really not a
button.
critical
I know,
bit
but
of information here.
here's where we're at.
Yeah,
Wait,
that
this
one. That's like that is what the cover of the book looked like. It was red and
It
had
says
that
it's a
logo on it.
pinball manual.
Wait, yeah, but see that top.
This one?
That's what it looked like, but obviously it was not a pinball manual because that would have been even more confusing.
Oh my god, do you remember these books?
Well, those aren't Goosebumps. Those are like his non-Goosebumps horror books, which I was always confused by.
Anyway,
We don't need to.
we're going down.
It's a weird Google image search happening.
Okay. What were we talking about? It's like the gym. Once you realize that everyone is as self-conscious about you watching them, it's easier.
Yeah, nobody pays it. Like how, no one's paying attention to you, honestly.
Is the YouTube personality test in Cosmo or something? We should do a YouTube personality test.
That feels like a lot
I
of
know,
work to
it's so
develop. That'd be
hard.
really fun, but like I don't want to make that.
Ask the AI to
Yeah.
make it.
Chat GPT.
I record while my bare feet are in a jello mold. Really gives that relaxed demeanor I need on camera.
I knew it. Plus, then you have a snack for when you're done.
Ew. I started the YouTube channel to practice public speaking. So glad I did it.
Yeah, public
See,
speaking
it
is a
doesn't-
superpower for sure.
Coming from the guy who has performance anxiety.
Yeah, I did not always liked public speaking, but if you can
How do you
it,
do that but have performance anxiety? I feel like public speaking,
so here's
like the example
interesting.
is public
is teaching.
is the performance anxiety. When you think of like the example, the typical example, it's going to be speaking in public, isn't it?
So
Isn't
like
that kind of
it's sort of
performance?
well, like when I was teaching, no anxiety teaching in front of a class. It was excitement more than anything because I wanted to talk about the thing. When I was being evaluated and an administrator would come in the back of the room and sit there with like their little thing and their notepad and all this kind of stuff, then it was like I forgot how to be a person. And luckily like all evaluations were always okay, but it would literally be like we need to what are we doing? Like I forget anything, and it's because I know then somebody's looking for it, they're looking for this, and I need to show them that I know that they're looking for this, and they need, but I'm also aware of all these other people who, and it's just so tiring. It's so tiring.
Why do you think about these things?
I don't want.
I know it's.
I don't want
I feel like
to.
I'm coming off like just shake it
Yeah.
off,
Boy, go touch grass. That anxiety's all in your head. Yes. Okay. Thank you.
No, I'm genuinely asking, like, why do you go there?
I don't see. This is actually I don't know. I'm very, very focused on like.
Okay, here's a question.
Well, I'm really focused on what people are getting out of being there. So if it's a YouTube video, if it's a class, I'm like so conscious of them being there and what their experience is getting this thing and what can I do. It's almost like customer service. Like what can I do to provide the customer with the best thing possible? And then part of me is like, maybe you don't need to take it that far. But then another part of me is like, well, maybe that's why you've been good at it, is because you are like, maybe this thing that's frustrating
God, I'm,
is why you're
tired listening to you.
Yeah, it's been 37 years.
It's like the Titanic meme up in here. It's the law in Oregon and New Jersey. You're not allowed to pump your own gas.
Jeez Louise.
What? What is the meaning
Are you gonna have
behind
like a
this
Zoolander
law?
gas fight or what?
That is fascinating. Are you coming out to NAB? Isn't that like
Didn't
tomorrow?
have any tickets to NAB. Yeah, it's happening. I think it's starting next week, Monday. Sunday?
Homesick Mac says, for YouTube personality, better to be yourself or to get in a role and act? Is everybody on YouTube themselves really?
I mean, that's almost the core of like the discussion. I don't know. I think, there's a difference between like, who are you when you're just at home by yourself versus out to dinner with a friend. Like,
I think it depends on your channel, right? Because like if you like people who are in customer service industries, like that's not you don't act like that normally, but it's part of your job, you know, to be that like, I don't know, friendly and accommodating and, you know, proactive and whatever. And I feel like, especially for example, if you're in a niche where you're conveying information or teaching something, like I'm sure if we grabbed a beer, you're not gonna be as like authoritative, you know. So I think it just depends. Yeah. I just know for me, when like I definitely had the thought when I was editing my video this morning, like I recorded this morning and I was like, gosh, I'm like super in love with this kid.
Wait, you recorded a video this morning?
No, I was editing it.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. I recorded it last week, but I was editing the video today. And I was like, this is not the same. It's not a personality, but the Heather that you're going to see in this video is not the same Heather that like is in my tutorial that I last uploaded. Right. Totally different. I don't think it's better or worse, but I think that I can look at it and be like, well, when I talk about certain things, it brings out this more animated side of me because I'm more excited about it.
Yeah, and the context is different. And the people are there for different things too, because they're not there to try to learn a specific thing. Like, the context is very different.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's also different when you go live, because I think it's harder to like not make the mask drop kind of thing for that long.
Right.
Yeah. Parental wrap. Hi, all. Hey. I'm finally able to make it to the stream. Thanks. Spring break time away from work.
Oh,
full service gas is the best part. I can't believe that's the thing.
I know. 2023.
Hey, Melanie. Hey, John. My college speech class terrified me. My first podcast completely cured that fear after about 10 episodes. Admins are just hiding out from parent calls and district admins. They are not that into your review. Teachers, relax. There you go.
Every once in a while, you get the one that's just like, let's debrief. And you're like, no, it's not, please. Here's all my notes.
Performance anxiety equals fear of being harshly critiqued. Do you think that's what it is?
I do not do well with that kind of, with harsh criticism.
So is that what you fear? Is that the source of your...
It's one of the many things I fear, yes, for sure. I don't know. It's hard. Like, there's so many layers to it I'm realizing... You are not my therapist, but I'm realizing there's a lot of layers to this. But one of them definitely is me feeling good about making a certain level of progress, not demonstrating, you know, if I try to do something 20 times and I do it well, but then the one time I do it in front of somebody else and I do it poorly, then,
you beat yourself up.
Yeah, and their impression then is this person is not good at this thing, or that's what goes on the review or whatever. And it like undermines my feeling of accomplishment, knowing that like I felt like I progressed more, but I guess I didn't.
I'm trying to think of all the times where I had to perform, and I feel like for me, it was just nerves. Like I can attest that it's just me being nervous, and it's not that there's any kind of underlying fear about anything, because I can think back to like, oh my gosh, when I was, you know, doing competitive hip hop dancing in college, like none of this, like I was nervous for sure, because it's like, you know, you've been practicing forever, you are part of a team, you don't want to be the one that messes up, you're competing, there's a whole crowd, you know, like, but I remember it's like as soon as everyone lined up and the lights go off and like you're ready to go, that first count is just like adrenaline hits, and it's just like, oh, like just go, have fun. It's like, I guess like jumping out of the plane, like you just go.
I have done neither competitive hip hop dancing nor jumping out of planes, so I can only imagine.
But then I think back to like, remember my first YouTube workshop I taught in person?
Yeah.
I was so nervous I didn't sleep that night.
Yeah.
Like I was so scared, but I think it was just nerves, because then I did it so many times. I did all these local workshops teaching about YouTube, and I didn't even like practice or anything.
Yeah, at a certain point you could just whatever. Yeah, I mean that's like teaching. By the end, I didn't have lesson plans for years. Yeah. It's like I know what we're talking about today.
Yeah. See, so that I feel like isn't it that?
That's a huge. Well, that's a part of it. It's so many different things.
Yeah,
but what's interesting is I didn't realize exactly what it was, and it's been flying and ice skating that have really made it obvious to me.
You're aware of it.
Yeah, which then now is good because then it's something to focus on because
you could work on
it. I know that it's not an objective reality. It's a mental thing. And so that means there can be control over it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know how to, that's as far as I've gotten this.
How do you stay consistent with your YouTube personalities with 4 channels? Well, see, this is what I was saying. Like, I don't think it's personalities for me. I think like if I look back on the past 7 years, regardless of channels, it was more of like, it took a while, and it's still something I have to work on, but I feel like my videos are most close to how I want them to be received when I am as comfortable with myself as I can be on camera. Like if I could just be myself, right? So for example, if I'm talking about video games, this is why I started this channel, because literally I just go to a place. Like I forget. It's just the thing. I've loved video games since like, I could hold a controller and I could really just.
A fog descends.
Yeah.
Her eyes just go back and then it just.
So like, that's why I started that channel. But, I'm passionate about these other things like teaching YouTube and vlogging and stuff. So to me, it wasn't like what personality is for which channel. It was more like, these are things that I want to do. Like these are things that I want to create. And I want these things to exist. Like I want these channels to exist. I want future me or anybody who's into the same thing to be able to look at it and find it and, I don't know, enjoy it. So it took a while. Like I remember my tagline for a really long time on this vlog channel was, "Hi, I'm Heather Just Create. I'm a vlogger, creator, entrepreneur."
I remember that.
And like I oh my God, I did all this like reflection about like what it mean. Like there was a video where I actually wrote the definition of vlogger, creator, and entrepreneur like on a slide, and I put it in the video, and then I like did this whole analysis and like, so that's just me. Like that's just me talking out my thoughts, but it's also like you could see me work through what I'm trying to build. So it's like, I don't know, it's hard to distinguish between personality and portfolio, artistic end goal, like the overall thing that I'm trying to build. I don't know. For me, it's one and the same. It's hard.
Yeah.
I get how like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a channel that's like so clearly a personality. But I think all the ones I watch are, they're pretty much themselves.
I mean, this is not that. I'm forgetting his name. The actor who played Scar in Lion King.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, Jeremy Irons. Wow,
yes.
I can't believe I just pulled that out of
Good
the
job. I forget what thing this was. It was some movie he did not want to be in. Some like cheesy recent CGI thing, and it's.
Oh my God! I hope it's not.
I don't know what it is. It's some behind the scenes thing, and they're like filming, and it's the blue screens and everything, and he's like holding something, and I'm sure there's gonna be like lightning bolts or something added, and it's this epic thing, and then the director yells cut, and he's like, "Ugh," and he just like immediately walks. He's just like I think it came out afterwards. He did not want to be in this movie and did not like it, and you can just see like not one frame longer than he has to be. He will give it 110%, but as soon as he doesn't have to,
he drops it.
He's over it. And I can't think of any specifics, or at least that I'd be willing to name, but that there are definitely YouTube channels where that is the case, and there are.
I tried to like go extreme. But
I mean, that's not just YouTube though. That's
so weird
that's movies, that's television, that's local news. Like, there's all kinds of, you know.
But see, like, maybe that's, you know, I'm sure someone could be like, well, that's why your numbers are so low, because you're not like crazy or whatever. So, you know, I feel like I'm happy with what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's
and
what
I think
matters.
at the end of the day, that's what I feel like should matter. But it took a while to get here, you know. And it was a lot of like, because like one of the people who heavily influenced me was Casey Neistat. I have a boosted board right there because of him, and I was recording videos just like him, you know. But it wasn't
We
like
all were.
it wasn't like I was trying to emulate his personality. It was definitely like a stylistic.
It was like I remember that feeling. I remember that feeling of getting my little Sony camera that had the flip up screen, because it was the first time I held out a camera where you could see yourself on screen. And it was like a feeling of, I'm seeing myself do the thing that I see other people do that I like, and that's weird. Like, not weird, but cool.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you saw bands play live music a lot and then you picked up a guitar for the first time, you'd be like, oh, this is like kind of what they do.
I do remember, especially with my tutorials, because I obviously you do your research, you know, you're inspired, or you look at what the competition is doing or whatever. And I remember thinking, like, I have to be authoritative. I have to look like I know what I'm talking about. And I tried that for a really long time, and it's fine, but the videos are so much more fun to make when I'm just talking, like, as if you were here. Yeah, that's the thing I always think of. Like, if there's a person that I know that is going to get value out of this video, like, I can name a person, you know, like, I don't know, my brother is going to watch this video and get value. Or the last video I uploaded on my tutorial channel was about Descript. And he was like, oh my gosh, I learned all this stuff about Descript. You know, so if I can make that video and just imagine that if Tom watches this, you are going to understand what I was trying to show you. Yeah. Then that's all that matters, you know?
Yeah. And I found too, the authoritative thing, at least in my niche, sort of recently I've been like a little more vocal about things I don't understand. Like, I don't know how this works. I don't know how to do this. This is a weak point.
And that's a choice, right?
Yeah.
Like, you are deciding to
I'm deciding to do that. And I feel like it really feels in the third grade.
Oh my gosh.
No, I'm not even kidding. In the third grade, we had like our math unit or whatever. And I was sick for like 1 or 2 days. And in the math section, that was when they introduced fractions. And so I left school. There were no fractions. And I came back to school, and then there were fractions. And I missed the intro, and I've never, to this day, I do not understand fractions. But I feel like I should probably understand fractions. I mean, yeah, I get it a little bit. 1/4 inch, like, audio gear helps a lot with that. 1/4 inch, babe. I get it. But my point is, there's things where it's like, oh, it seems like everybody learned this, but I never got it, and now now I'm too afraid to ask, kind of thing. And I've noticed in my niche, there's sort of that thing. So I've been more vocal about, like, I don't know this. I've noticed whenever I say I don't know something, a lot of other people pop up and they go, oh my God, I don't understand it either. And it seems like people are too shy or scared to say they don't know something. But then nobody gets to know the things that they need or want to know because, you know.
People are afraid of feeling or looking like they don't know.
Yeah, well, especially
like not knowing enough.
Oh, everyone in this room already knows this thing. I don't want to be the one that's like, how do you do the basic thing? But then you realize, no, half the people in here don't know how to do that thing. But, you know, there has to be somebody who's going to
raise their hand first.
Break the ice on
that. Hey, Aubrey. Hey, Tom. I totally understand the feeling being judged. Do you guys get much harsh criticism? I know everyone gets some on YouTube, but I've gotten plenty.
I mean, yeah,
well, I feel like you get
proportionally, it's very small.
He gets so many more comments than I do.
The harsh stuff is so much less than the non-harsh stuff.
It's also really easy to dismiss like I mean, Nick and Marta were talking about this on their Marta stream earlier today about like hate versus criticism, because I think it's really easy to dismiss hate because it's like no matter what you say, this person has this viewpoint and there's nothing that you're gonna.
Yeah, there's a comment I get every once in a while, which is something along the lines of, "Hey Tom, I love your videos, comma, but," or "I normally love your videos, comma, but." And that's why I'm just like, oh, because this isn't the person who showed up and is like, "What's with the stupid jokes and all that?" It's like, okay, you don't know what's happened. This is somebody who's like, you've sort of been here for a while, and now something didn't land right, and now I actually am going to spend time like picking that apart. Is it on me? Is it just something that did you like, why is that?
So I don't think I've ever told you this. That's how I'm gonna preface this.
Shoot.
I did this probably every week while you were doing your YouTube channel and teaching full time.
Okay.
Is I tried to be the first person who commented on every single one of your videos because I wanted it, and I would comment with something so crazy.
Not related to the
like, "You look so hot in this video. I love you, babe. Like, look at you." Something starry eyes, hearts, because I wanted people, like, because it's the truth. But then also I wanted people to remember that, like, he has a wife, he has a family.
That's
like,
so sweet.
Yes, there's this, like, you know, Tom Buck audio video, like, YouTube personality, whatever, but also like he is human, you know? So if you scroll down to the comment section, usually you always replied to my comments, and I felt like that would, you know, keep it towards the top. You know, I just wanted it to be there.
Like that. I know you did that. I didn't know that's why you did that.
I mean, I did it because, you know, I wanted to, but
you're just preaching the truth.
There was definitely parts of me where I would read comments and I'm like, it's so weird how you're talking to my husband this way. It's so weird. Like, it's strange. I feel like people forget that you're all, you know, but you're at a different level, bro. Anyway. McKinnon is a personality.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen a Peter McKinnon video.
I mean, he's successful because he has a big personality. But I mean, and once he hit a point where he even admitted, he's like, "I taught you everything I know. Like, I have nothing else to teach." And then for years, the channel is his personality. Like, you don't go there to learn anything really. You don't really like go for a gear review or something. Like, not really. You go for the personality. It's the biggest channel in the niche by like millions. So
Drew says, "I don't know if I fit into the category of YouTube personality, but I definitely know that my channel is not run-of-the-mill photography channel as much as I wouldn't think I'm a regular photographer."
I like that you're comfortable claiming that. I think that's cool.
See, yeah, because I feel like it's that comfort. Like, if you're comfortable in that, then great.
Yeah.
Hi, introvert amateur. I just finished recording and missed the most part of this stream. But still wanted to join and say hi.
Hi.
Well, I'm glad you were recording.
Perfect timing. Yeah.
That's great.
There we go. Wow. Look at that. Perfect. We caught up with all of the comments right at the top of the hour.
Top of the hour. So, what's our conclusion?
Just you do you, boo boo. We don't have. That was in like the pre-show that we did on.
There's no right or wrong.
Just Create More was figuring out how to be yourself, how to let your personality shine through. What that is something you have to do if you make and share stuff, but there's no instruction manual to do it. There's not a lot of prep to do it. We just want to talk about, we do not have the instruction manual. It's not like, until now, announcing our new course, like putting the U in YouTube, personally personable or whatever. It's just a conversation to have. It's something to think. It's like the tarot cards, right? Like, every time you talk about tarot cards with people, like, do you really believe that like the cards are this? And it's like, these are really great prompts for self-reflection.
Yeah, it's just, I think it's just something to think about. I feel like I would have enjoyed this conversation.
Yeah, it's like, there's no answer, but talking about it, thinking about it, knowing that other people are talking about and thinking about it is a good, helpful thing. And it's cool to keep that going.
So we have two ideas. We have making money with content creation and the hardest thing about being a full-time YouTuber.
Those might be connected.
Yeah. Well, if you have any other future topics, we've got the running list going here. So
yeah,
I liked the performance anxiety
discussion. I'm realizing there's a lot of layers to that onion as we get through that.
I feel I can't.
It's a fun thing to dissect, though, honestly. At least for me. I don't know if it's interesting to anybody. But...
Well, I feel bad because I feel like, it's like applying pressure as you're performing on a live stream to talk about your anxiety. Like, I don't want to,
that's why there's
putting
times
my thumb on an ant.
Like so there are times when we're driving in the car and Heather's like singing along to a radio and she's like, Tom, and she like holds up an invisible microphone to me. Instantly I just start sweating.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's like,
I can't. It's just us in the car. Dude. I can't do it. There's so like no.
But you can drop puns anytime.
Not right now, as much as I wanted to, but yeah.
Weird. It's so strange. I find this very.
It's a weird thing where it's like it has to.
See, I'm the like hold my beer person.
You have literally said "hold my beer" to me and handed me a beer while you went to go do something.
I tried to get a fan of the game last weekend. So like at the arena, they're in front of thousands of people. The cameras will put someone on the video board and try like who's our fan of the game. They kind of go
like, here's different people, and then the audience cheers, and when it finds like the two people that they're cheering for the most, it like cuts back and forth.
Yeah, and it's it's someone who's dancing or cheering or whatever. And I went out to the aisle and like just started shuffling.
You literally said, unironically, you were like, "Hold my beer."
That's me.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't have anxiety, but I don't know.
I mean, it was a thing that happened. I don't know if it was here or where, but we popped something on screen, and my impulse was to hide behind it. And your impulse was to move to the side. So
but I find that fascinating. I find it fascinating. It's bizarre to me because literally thousands of people watch your YouTube channel every day.
My goal,
How are you able to disconnect the fear, the anxiety of being critiqued? Whether it's in the future or in the present. Like, I'm confused by that. Because it's the same experience.
I think it has to do with the level of control I feel over the situation. So, like, teaching, I was very uncomfortable teaching early on. I get nervous until I realized students walk into a classroom and expect there to be a teacher who's going to tell them to do stuff. That happens to be me. It feels weird that it's me. But if I tell them to do stuff, they're not going to think that's weird because that's what they're expecting right now.
Right.
Okay, cool. How can I do that as good as possible? YouTube is like, I mean, it's repetition too. Like I've done it hundreds and hundreds of times at this point, but it's like, I'm making these videos, I'm putting these out there. I have tried to contextualize things as much as possible. I saw Drew, like, I'm trying to share something for my love of sharing, not a let me teach. Like, I'm trying to contextualize where it's coming from. There's a whole channel of videos. I know people aren't going to get it or might be taken the wrong way, but at least like, it's kind of on my terms in a way versus like, it's also something, I mean, that is something that I know I have a level of proficiency in. So there's like, every lesson I taught might not have been the best, or a video I make might not be the best, but I know there's a level of proficiency there. When you're trying something new or something that you're not that experienced in, you don't have that to fall back on as much, and it's just
so it has to do with the newness of the activity.
I think a lot of it has to do with the newness
or your incompetency or unproficiency or whatever.
Fear of like, it's like a fear of appearing incompetent.
Okay.
Because I don't care. Like, I've been ice skating for 2 months or something. Like, yeah, I can't do backwards crossovers, and I'm not like, no, and that's fine. Like, no one is expecting it, but it's like, I don't know. It's like, I'm thinking of flight lessons because the last flight that I went on was so bad. Like, everything went wrong other than like the plane crashing. And so much of it is like, I know what I need to do. And I even understand the why behind it, because a lot of times you're learning something and you just learn step 1, 2, 3. And as you do that, then you start to learn how those are connected and what, like, the deeper meaning behind them. But so much of it is like, okay, I need to do this, but I need to say that I'm doing this so you know that I know that now is the time that we're doing this. And wait, but what, am I supposed to do this now, or am I supposed to do that before? Wait, am I? And then someone's just typing, and you're like, oh, I have like done a thing wrong. It's, you know, versus like,
I mean, I
mean, when we
for
went,
the record, I don't think that this is something that needs to be like solved or anything.
No, but I would love to get better at it, because like when we went ice skating for the first couple of times and I was scared to like leave the wall, you were the one who was like, okay, if you had to get from this end of the rink to the other for $1 million, could you do
find a way to get over there.
And I did. It's like your body just sort of figures it out and you go over there. But if it's like, okay, now sit here and really think, you're pushing off with your left and you're gliding on your right, now you're setting your right down at a 45-degree angle and push, like, then I'm just gonna crash. And even though I'm doing the same activity, and then if it's like, now I'm gonna watch you and make sure that
I know, but that person is there to help you. You have paid them.
No, I know that, and this has nothing to do with any of like the instructors, teachers, evaluators. It's the situation of like, I can't perform at a thing in those situations. Like, it's test anxiety. Okay, like I can't take tests. I mean, I've taken tests, but it's similar.
I know we're like going off topic now, but like how is it that I can invite you all the way to Long Beach for a weekend, the second time we've met in person, to ask you to be a guest speaker at my progress party that is a whole party meant to celebrate my progress on YouTube, which, by the way, I had like 4,000 subscribers. Like, it was not...
It's a baller move.
It wasn't... I don't even know what I was celebrating, but I was like, I want to throw a party about what I'm doing. And I was like, this guy over here is teaching content creation, basically. And I invited you to be a guest speaker to, guess what? The 50 people were in the room were all my friends and family.
Okay, so one, obviously I had a big crush on you that I didn't realize or wasn't willing to acknowledge. And two...
And you were still able to
I didn't know they were your friends and family. I thought they were all other, like...
I know, but why does it have... Like, I'm confused as to how you could so...
Like, I have no fear of going in front of a crowd, and I have no fear of public speaking.
That is so
fascinating.
Like,
I did.
You know why? Because if there's one performance anxiety I have, it's public speaking.
I know. I have zero fear about that.
And it's not... See, to me, it's nerves. Like,
but
I'm not afraid of anyone saying anything.
That's why it's interesting, though, because, like, just... Obscure Mike's was saying college public speaking class. I was dripping sweat. I had to wear multiple layers. I couldn't sleep the night before public speaking class. But through teaching, I eventually got over it. And now, like, literally there is no fear there, which means... You can overcome these things. I know it. Like, I still have nerves. I still do these things, but I
things
don't
that
care.
Used to scare you.
Any size crowds.
That's so bizarre.
It's fine.
You're gonna open Coachella.
It would be fine. Like, I don't like. There's no. No, if it was, hey, everybody at Coachella, watch Tom try to do a 1-foot glide.
Well, one person at Coachella.
That would be like, oh.
What? Okay. Anyway, Jared is also the hold my beer. So there you go. We should go grab beers
and hold them.
14 million views.
I know, it's crazy. It's wild.
It's so weird. It's so weird that the person who has 14 million
I'm not saying it makes sense. I'm just saying this is what it is. Okay.
Tom's authority comes from knowing exactly what he's talking about, at the same time never claiming he knows everything about the subject. Always a confident but humble attitude that comes a long way.
I like that. I hope that that's what comes across.
Ono Copy asked, I'm curious to know which creators you referenced who were heavily criticized in their comments on the release of the ZVE1 from your podcast app. Interested to see those comments.
There's a lot. I mean, you can kind of go to any of the release day ZVE ones. A big one, though, because he made a follow-up video, is Peter Lindgren, because he released it, and then like a day or two later, he made a video about that. So that's a good one to dive into.
Oh, where he like talked about
about the comments. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
So I think he did 2 videos on release day, and then he did the follow-up the next day.
Well, anyway, that was fun.
Right. Is it time to clear the table? It's time to clear the table.
From the sounds of it, this is a prime example of practice makes better. There's still some nerves to it, but it's less than the original nerves for the first time doing something.
I'm also just someone who thrives off positive reinforcement. Some people thrive off like the harsh, like, what is this? You could do better. And like some people actually thrive on that. I just shut down. I need to feel like I'm doing a good job.
It's not that I need the harsh environment, but I feel like I definitely, like, spontaneity works in my favor.
Oh, yeah.
It is the hold my beer. You will get the best version of me.
But if you went there planning to do
it.
something,
like, I can't even tell you so all the anxiety you feel in the moment, I feel for days before the thing.
Yeah. No,
like leading up to the thing. So that's why it's like it has to just, do it in the moment. Anyway,
it's an interesting thing. Fun thing to work on.
Public speaking is a weird thing. I actually used to speak a lot for my job, and I got pretty good. But then I had my cycling accident and sound weird now. You don't sound weird, by the way.
I know. Maybe you sound weird to you because you knew there.
Yeah.
You have
like,
something to compare.
You sound
it
like
to.
you to me.
Yeah, which is fine. It sounds great.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Well, thanks so much.
Thanks so much.
It's time to clear the table.
Yep.
Thanks for hanging out with us. Try to upload some of these audio versions. And hope you have a safe, happy, healthy, fun rest of your week. See you next time.
Bye.